I must admit I am very, very keen on macaroni cheese. Love the stuff. It's one of the things I like about going to the States. Although I'm not mad on that awful orange cheese. What's it called? Jack cheese or something. Ugh. And they seem to put 3 tons of it in their mac and cheese. But I do like mac and cheese. And this is not mac and cheese. You got all excited. I can see you there. You're getting all excited. Oh, he's going to show us a different mac and cheese. Well, actually, what it is, it's a Greek dish called pastitsio. That's a wonderful pronunciation. Anyway, it is mac and cheese, but it's also layered with a really nice lamb mince. You know how the Greeks love lamb. So do I. Well, I'm a Kiwi, sort of. 50 years in Australia. Does that still make me a Kiwi? I don't know. Anyway, so it's layered with mac with a really nice cheese sauce and Mornay sauce. I've shown you how to make that. You want to have a look up for that because I'm not making it again for you because it's under, I think, the world's second best cheese sauce. And I will remind you why it's the second best, because if it had that beautiful cheese from Switzerland, you know, the Comté Gruyère, it would be the world's best. But that's bloody dear, so I didn't use that. So that's why it's this world's second best. That's a bit of logic, isn't it? Now, the base for this, 2 good cloves of garlic, nice plump ones, a little carrot, 1 onion, and a large stalk of celery, all of them diced really finely. It's important that you dice them finely, and the reason being is when you make the dish, you are layering it, and it's all delicate and things like that, and there's big chunks of carrot and celery and things. It doesn't look great. So we just cook these for a few minutes, just until they start the cooking process. And what I've got there is 750 grams of fairly lean lamb mince. Ask your butcher not to put too much fat in it, all right? He'll do that for you. Actually, I love it. I see these television shows. Here he goes. Hewittson's bitching about other TV shows. No, I'm actually not. But I do see them, and they say things like, "Oh, ask your butcher to do this, you know, bone a turkey and then bone a," you know, like that dish where you have a pigeon, a chicken, a turkey, a quail, or ask them to bone them all for you. Oh yeah, Saturday afternoon I go to the butcher and say, "Hey son, do you mind boning 5 things of quail, a turkey, pigeon?" But not just that, they do say some silly things. You can ask your butcher for your lean lamb mince, but maybe not anything too complicated when he's rushing around serving all his customers. It's a bit rough, isn't it? And the fishmonger, can you bone this trout for me? No, I can't. That's actually what you'll be told. Learn to do it yourself, or just don't do it. Anyway, stop bitching about people. It's all right, it's all right. They mean well. The reason I did that was because I need to throw in the mince, and I was just waiting until those veggies were sort of semi-done. And you just mash your mince up to seal it. Because what happens if you don't seal in the juices a bit, you don't have to spend 3 hours doing it, guys. And if you don't mash it and seal in those juices a bit, all the juices run out, and you end up with a sort of not a watery sauce, but an unpleasant sauce. So do go to the little bit of trouble of doing it. And when it's cooking too, you do exactly the same thing. Now I'm making more than enough for 1 or 2, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some extra ones and stick them in the freezer, which is a great idea. It's lovely to have something in your freezer that you can pull out. But you do it in individual portions. You don't do it in a big lot, because you only want to thaw what you need. All right, that's looking pretty good. And now we'll add some liquid. First of all, a cup of chicken stock and some diced tomatoes. And we'll be adding, I would say, off the top of my head, some more tomato as we go along, but we'll start off with that. See how we go. Some salt and some pepper. And I will add a little bit more tomato even now. I can tell that it's going to need more. And then I'm going to cook that down. And I want it to be fairly thick and fragrant. I know I harp on about the fragrant, but you can smell that. Once I've added the bay leaves, 2 or 3 bay leaves, 30 minutes, something like that. All right, guys, we're looking good. Let's just have a taste of my mince. Make sure it's perfect. Of course it's going to be perfect. I'm going to spit it out and say that tastes like rubbish. Like hell I am. Perfect. It's nice, actually. Lovely. Really is. I had some Mornay, which is a good cheese sauce. As I said, you can look it up, the world's second best cheese sauce. I had some in the freezer, so all I've done is shove it into the microwave. Put a layer of that first, then some macaroni. Now, if you were just doing macaroni cheese, you could do it exactly like this, but without the lamb mince, couldn't you? Makes it more of a main course, doesn't it? To me, sort of macaroni is or macaroni cheese is a side dish or that kind of thing. So a decent layer of the lamb goes in here without the bay leaves. More of the macaroni. This is another variety because I couldn't find any macaroni, and it's an Italian one. They said perfect for macaroni cheese, so what can I say? And some Parmesan. The tasty gives the melting quality, so that'll melt over the top, and the Parmesan just adds that bit of extra flavour. All right, guys, into an oven, 180, 200 degrees, until it's brown, I say 15, 20 minutes, something like that. To go with it, what I want is a little bit of Greek salad. That'd be really nice, wouldn't it? 1 clove of garlic. I'm just making a simple dressing, just a small clove of garlic. Squeeze a lemon, olive oil. What I've got there is some chopped oregano, salt and pepper. We'll have a little taste of that. May need a little bit more lemon, may not. If you don't want to use lemon, you can use red wine vinegar. A little bit more, not too much. Right, and for my Greek salad, now I know, I've seen Greek salads even in the Greek restaurants, they always have lots of lettuce. When I was in Greece, a very long time ago I must admit, they never had lettuce in them. Sometimes they had a few leaves or something, but never lettuce. So I've got some red onion, I've got some chunks of cucumber, I've got Italian parsley or flat leaf parsley leaves, and I have some pitted Kalamata olives, which I've just cut in half, and of course some tomato. Just keep a bit of that dressing behind if you could. There is a reason to keep a bit of the dressing behind, because on top of this goes a slice. I want it to be whole if I can. Feta, doesn't that look better than just chopping it up and throwing it in? Oh, a clever little beggar. And then that reserved dressing, we've got our salad. Soon the pasticcio will be out of the oven. And what I'm going to serve it needs nice big bold red. What I've got here, Winton Road Barossa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. I think this is a ripper dish. I love the idea that I can put some in the freezer. You don't eat them all the same week, but you can pull it out when you get home and you think, oh hell, I don't feel like cooking. Pull this out. Beautiful stuff.